All right, everybody, welcome to this quick tutorial on getting started with Pear Deck. There will be a more detailed one coming during our professional development days, but just know this is to get everybody started. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is you can go to peardeck.com and you will see teacher login. So it should log you in with your FCPS Google account, just as it's doing, and you're going to sign in with your Google account. Make sure that it's you. Clearly, I need to make sure that it's me. And it should connect you to Google Drive. It might give you a prompt to connect with your Google Drive, and so just allow it to happen. So this is your homepage. You'll notice that you have the premium account because your little icon will have a crown on top. So get excited about that. During the or on the homepage, you also have access to their resources, some help videos, webinars, all sorts of great things. You also have access now to the Pear Deck Vocabulary Builder. So I'll go over that a little more in depth at another time, but certainly play around with it. One other thing which is new at the end of last year was pop-up activities, where you can make a prompt if you want just like a quick response, a poll, something. You can click on that, choose to make a prompt, and it will give you something about, like a check-in, like what do you want to do like real quick, and it provides you a code already, so you don't actually have to make like a separate PowerPoint for just like a quick thing. Just use that. So again, I'll talk more about that in another area. So you can use this to create a lesson, but it isn't actually necessary to start with this. You can start with a blank Google slide or a Google slide presentation that you already have. So the first thing you're going to want to make sure you have is the add-on. So on Google Slides, you're going to click on add-on, and I already have it. It says Pear Deck for Google Slides add-on. If you don't see that, you're going to go to Get Add-ons and search for Pear Deck. This is already installed, so we're good to go. I don't have to install it again, but if you do, there's how you do it. And so either Pear Deck will appear as another menu here, or it'll appear in your add-ons. So you go to Pear Deck for Google Slides, open Pear Deck add-on. So this window will show up. One of the neat things that you can do is explore their pre-made templates. And they have it categorized for beginning of lessons, during lessons, and end of lessons. So if you're like, I want to go and add something like a poll or something quick at the start of a lesson, you can go to beginning of lesson, and it'll give you all of these slides and the options as it is. So if you say, what did you learn from the homework last night? So you're going to click on that, and it will create this slide. It already has this layout, and you can then edit it. Maybe you don't want to say, what did you learn from the homework? Maybe you want to say, what did you learn from the reading? Right. So you can make it whatever you want. And now that's in your Pear Deck presentation. So these are creating new slides into your template, right? So even that first title slide is still there. So you can insert this wherever you want in your lessons. Just know that when it creates these things and it gives you this little bar, they suggest that you don't change the link, don't mess with it. So anything that Pear Deck generates on these slides, try not to mess with. Texts, other things you can adjust, but like don't delete this, otherwise it won't work. All right. So as far as the other, if you want to start with your own activities. So now I want to create a new slide. So I can add text. So a text slide will ask students to respond to a prompt. And it will add it. It'll format it to the current slide, right? So now my title slide now has a prompt. So you can even add a question like, how are you feeling? So they see that and they can immediately just start getting going on their lesson. That's great. All right, so I'm going to go to new slide and I'm going to go to choice. So this will create a multiple choice-ish question. So you want to have your slides or your question options ready. So maybe my question is now not the question, that's going to be in your title. So choices. So maybe the question is going to be, what do you want for lunch? And I'm going to say pizza, tacos, or burgers. Update slide. And so now, while you don't necessarily see it, here it's added. So when the students are looking at the slide, right? So you're going to add the question, what? Let's say you want to add something to it, right? So you go, okay, well, it's a multiple choice question. All right, so you're going to click choice again, and it's going to bring up your options. And now I'm going to add another. So I don't know, maybe I'm going to add salad and update slide. Okay, so now it's all added in there. If you notice like the presenter notes with these little pear emojis, it shows you what is going on in the slide, right? And how to fix it. So if you want to change it, that's where it is. So that's multiple choice. I'm going to go to new slide real quick. So number slide is going to just ask students to put a number in there. So maybe you want to say like, how many books did you read over the summer? That might be a slide that you're going to ask. And again, if you want to change this or change the type of slide, you can go ahead and press these buttons. New slide. All right, the website slide. What this is going to do is it's going to give you a website preview into your actual, Pear Deck slides. So this is actually pretty cool if you want to do things like embed a Flipgrid or embed a Padlet particularly. So maybe you're asking students to, add stuff to a Padlet, you want to display it or something, you can use this website. Or maybe you have like an information slide. Maybe you want to take them to a particular article that you want there, and you can just put it in your slides and not have to have them click on a separate link. It's all there. So that's what the website slide does. Another slide that's pretty popular is draw. So right now it is a drawing slide. So when students are prompted, they'll get the option to basically draw, highlight, add a text bar, do those sorts of things. So right now this is blank. So if I said, let's say we were doing a lesson, I don't know, on calculating distance or something like that, right? So we might put like a drawing slide and say, okay, well, so draw a floor plan of your house, right? So when the students see that, they'll just have this big open area. So that could be one thing. You can also use these draw slides, so you can make the background anything you want. So let's say, because again, it's very open form. So if I go to background and like, let's say, I don't know, choose image, and I'm going to go to image search. And let's say I search for map of the United States. All right, and I'm going to go to insert, and now that's going to be my background to just this slide. And so maybe your question is, circle the states that you have visited. And so now this is like a community builder, right? So now you can add. So when students, they start circling things, it's like, oh, I went to South Dakota for reasons, or our family took a trip to Wisconsin, or I've been to California. So you can see individual responses and maybe ask them about that, or say, oh, you circled, you went there, or oh, who, take a look at the overall map and say, oh, do you notice, how many students have circled certain states repeatedly? Like what state seems to be most popular? What have you been there? So now you're sparking conversation, right? You can also use the draw slide to like circle where you are in a like a grid or a spectrum. In math, you can use it to draw figures, draw shapes, that sort of thing. But yeah, those are very much things that you can do. And then finally is the draggable option. So I'm going to new slide. And a draggable option you can use in a number of ways. You're going to go and set what do you want your draggable option to be. And so maybe you want a few. So the more you want, you can add more. Maybe you want like a heart. Maybe you want like a idea, light bulb, right? So that's going to update the slide. And so maybe your background might be like a list of books or like a graphic showing another map or a spectrum with different options, right? These are actually in the template slides. But when students see it, they're going to be able to drag the icon in different places, right? So maybe you're looking for feedback and you're saying, oh, which was your favorite activity for the day? And then they could drag a heart to whatever part of the activity or lesson that they like the best. So this is a good way to get feedback, to get polling, crowdsource. Maybe you want to use it like a sample four corners activity, right? So instead of having your room with numbers on it, the students can just sort of drag which place in a four corners grid they would be. So that's another way to spark conversation and elicit feedback. So play around. There are also options to add audio to slides. And it's going to allow you to record audio that then would be added to your slide. And then allow that. So you say, hello, this is going to add audio to this slide. Good. All right. So you can add it, save it, whatever. Now you're going to save it. And say, hello, this is going to add audio to this slide. Good. Add audio to slide. All right, so now it is there. So through Pear Deck, you have now added a bit of audio to your slide. So if you want to add instructions or anything like that, you can do this. And you can even do this to slides that are just notes. It could be any of these slides, really. So if I just go to even like a blank slide, and maybe my slide was, notes on the executive branch. Now I can add audio. And I might say something like, the president is the head of the executive branch. Something like, the president is the head of the executive branch. All right, now we've added audio to slide. So there you go. So now that audio is in there. So this is great for learners who are more auditory, who maybe want you to explain things. So it's not necessarily interactive but for them, when they get to that slide, there'll be an option for them to play the audio. So this is great for at home when they want to play audio on their own. So in short, I hope that you guys get excited about the different ways that you can use Pear Deck in your classrooms. And I would love to see how everyone is getting started with this and using this tool to basically build a great classroom community. So hope you enjoy this little video, this quick tutorial, and yeah, happy Pear Deck, everybody.